These sensitive ass that just came out of this little, I don't know where they come from, but niggas be getting wild emotional. Niggas be turning into big super police. Just be trying to have.
Busta ever try to phone me? Hit you with no delays to what you saying, yo. Should've with that 9 million, but the devil, yo. Yeah, I do his better than him. He better not play with me. I will and perform Busta Rhymes show.
I'm gonna say it on here. They call them fun boy. They'll say we gotta have some fun boys in the section for Busta. Bro, Busta Rhymes wanted him in his section so bad. Like, what? Pulled him to the section, like through the rope, and tucked him off in the corner. So I'm looking like, well, he ain't come with it.
Walking through the crowd and somebody grabs my hand. Just softly put their hand in my hand and just holding it. So I look, you know, and I see this big chain that said flip mode. I look up and it's Busta.
Right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying.
What if I told you 50 Cent's new Diddy documentary might expose Busta Rhymes like never before? Rumors say there's explosive footage that could flip his entire image upside down, and Busta's already panicking. So the real question is, what's 50 hiding that's got Busta so scared? Rumors are swirling that Busta Rhymes is on edge, and insiders say he's directing threats toward 50 Cent over footage tied to 50's upcoming Diddy documentary. For years, 50 has hinted at holding on to evidence about Diddy's infamous parties, but this time it seems the material might be hitting uncomfortably close to home for Busta. The buzz is that actual video exists, showing Busta right in the thick of those late-night scenes with Diddy. If true, this could explain why he's suddenly so rattled, adding fuel to the fire. Busta's former bodyguard known as Big Homie CC previously claimed that the rapper had long indulged in secret encounters. With many in nightlife circles allegedly aware of it, CC even alleged that club promoters would line up young men in VIP to keep the energy flowing whenever Busta showed up. Now, whispers from people close to the situation suggest that 50 might have receipts to back those claims. Reportedly, one explosive clip features Busta and Diddy caught in a wild gathering alongside multiple allegedly adult workers arranged by Diddy himself. If that footage comes to light, it could send shockwaves through the industry.
About Busta Rhymes before.
Oh yeah.
In some of your videos.
Oh yeah. Super zest monster. For sure, bro. That's my thing, bro. Like, this been common knowledge though. Like, all my promoter homies would always say, man, you know, we gotta bring some we gotta bring some, what they call them, I'm not gonna say it on here. They call them fun boys.
The drama doesn't stop their writs actually getting messier. Several men are now stepping forward, alleging that Busta crossed the line with them on multiple occasions. According to their claims, every time they ran into him, he'd push aggressively for them to join him in late-night outings that mirrored Diddy's wild party scene. With these new stories surfacing, it's beginning to look like Busta could be the next target of a full-scale expose, and the fact that 50 Cent is at the helm of this Netflix documentary only raises the stakes. Busta's threats, instead of silencing the chatter, seem to be fanning the flames, possibly securing him an even bigger spotlight in the film. So what's driving the panic? Why is Busta unraveling now, of all times? And what kind of evidence does 50 really have that's left him this shaken? One thing is clear, there's heavy tension building behind the curtain, and with Busta's name already in the fire, 50 Cent was never going to sit back quietly.
So much going on in the music industry pertaining to Diddy. How closely are you paying attention to his case, the allegations?
I don't pay attention to none of it. I just kind of like to pay.
Just before the two hip-hop heavyweights were set to share the stage at the Humor and Harmony Comedy Festival, 50 Cent found a perfect opportunity to do what he does best, stir the pot. Known for his quick wit and unrelenting trolling on social media, 50 zeroed in on Busta Rhymes' bold sense of style. He joked that Busta might just roll up to the show in one of his famously wild outfits. Most notably the unforgettable bright yellow getup from the 1999 MTV Video Music Awards. That outfit has lived rent-free in hip-hop history for more than 2 decades. For some fans, it's a nostalgic throwback to a time when hip-hop fashion was at its most experimental. For others, it's a running punchline. Either way, the moment you mention Busta Rhymes' banana suit, everyone instantly knows exactly what you're talking about. It was oversized, loud, and unapologetically Busta look that matched his larger-than-life personality and rapid-fire rap style. And leave it to 50 Cent, who thrives on poking fun at his peers, to resurrect that memory at just the right moment, to crank things up a notch. 50 didn't just joke about it in passing. He took his jab to Instagram, the platform where his trolling has become legendary. He posted a throwback picture of Busta in the Alelo outfit, pairing it with a caption that was equal parts playful and cutting. Busta cannot wear this to humor and harmony. I don't care who designed it, pull up to Shreveport in something fresh. For fans, it was classic 50. He's made a career out of mixing sharp business moves with humor, often at the expense of his fellow artists. His Instagram feed is less of a highlight reel and more of a roast session. And Busta, flashy, loud, and unpredictable, was the perfect target. Within minutes, the post started circulating, reigniting debates about Busta's past fashion choices and drawing laughter from fans who live for 50's no-holds-barred commentary. The thing about 50 Cent is that his trolling rarely feels random. He knows exactly how to hit a nerve while keeping things entertaining. By pulling out Busta's 1999 look, he tapped into hip-hop nostalgia while also setting the tone for their festival appearance. Fans weren't just expecting performances, they were now looking forward to seeing how Busta would respond. Would he clap back with his own joke? Would he show up in something equally outrageous just to prove a point? Or would he brush it off with that booming laugh of his? The moment also spoke to the long-running dynamic between 50 Cent and Busta Rhymes. Both men are icons in their own right, but they've always had completely different approaches to image. 50 built his brand on toughness, business savvy, and a sharp tongue, while Busta's brand has always leaned into extravagance, whether through fashion, music videos, or high-energy performances. In a way, 50 clowning Busta's outfit wasn't just about comedy, it was about highlighting the clash of personalities that makes hip-hop culture so vibrant. What fans love most is that these kinds of exchanges blur the line between rivalry and entertainment. Hip-hop has always thrived on friendly competition, from freestyle battles to chart-topping diss tracks. 50's jab wasn't malicious, was a continuation of a tradition where rappers hold each other accountable in the most public and hilarious way possible. And with social media amplifying everything, a single Instagram post becomes an event in itself, sparking conversations, memes, and anticipation for what comes next. For Busta, the post might have been an annoyance, but it was also a reminder of his staying power. That yellow outfit may have been roasted for years, but it also secured him a spot in the cultural memory of hip-hop. In an industry where trends come and go overnight, being remembered for something, even a wild fashion choices, proof of impact. And if anyone has thick enough skin to laugh along, it's Busta. After all, his career has thrived on standing out, not blending in. By the time the festival rolled around, fans weren't just looking forward to the performances, they were invested in the playful tension between 50 and Busta. Would Busta take the bait and show up in something outrageous to troll right back? Or would he surprise everyone and keep it simple, proving that he could laugh at himself while still commanding respect on stage? Either way, 50 had already won. In a sense, he got the internet buzzing. He kept fans entertained, and he reminded everyone why he's one of the sharpest personalities in hip-hop. At the end of the day, that's the beauty of moments like these. It's bigger than an outfit or a joke, it's about legacy, personality, and the way hip-hop continues to blend performance with spectacle. Busta's yellow suit may have been a fashion don to some, but in the grand scheme, it's exactly the kind of bold choice that keeps legends unforgettable. And if 50 Cent wants to turn that memory into a punchline 2 decades later, you can bet fans will keep eating it up.
On my soul, I'm out with a group of people. At this time, I was with Don Benjamin. You familiar with him?
No, I never heard of him.
Model dude, like a model guy. He be doing like some rapping and stuff. His name Don Benjamin. I'm out with Don Benjamin, and the club we ended up going to, Busta Rhymes in there. So it was a little lawyer guy that was with us.
Of course, Busta wasn't about to let 50's jab go unanswered. He clapped back with an AI-generated photo that made 50 look more than a little questionable, pairing it with a slick caption, "The blessings don't stop, so we'll never stop. I thought it was Father's Day, 50 Cent, and you out here looking like this. Don't let me catch you in the mirror practicing this look before Shreveport." At the time, it came off as playful trolling just to industry heavyweights trading light-hearted shots online.
Fun boys in the section for Busta. Cause you know, I bodyguarded for Ghostface before. You feel me? And being around him, you hear things. You feel me? I'm like, damn. And my auntie like the biggest Busta Rhymes fan. You feel me? Like every cookout she playing this. All his little fast rapping, all of that, him and...
But with all the recent drama unfolding, the tone feels completely different now. What once seemed like playful back and forth suddenly carries a sharper edge. Insiders insist that 50 isn't just joking around, he's dead serious. And word is he may be holding on to some explosive footage of Busta and Diddy caught up in the mix. Before diving into that possibility, it's worth revisiting the earlier allegations tied to Busta's VIP lifestyle and the long-circulating whispers about fun boys. Not too long ago, his former bodyguard, Big Homie CC, dropped a bombshell during an interview with The Art of Dialogue. He didn't mince words, branding Busta as a super zest monster and claiming the rapper had been displaying questionable behavior around young men for years.
The guy we was with, you know, he was a gay dude, super cool, feel me, good guy. Bro, Busta Rhymes wanted him in his section so bad. Like, what? Pulled him to the section, like through the rope, and tucked him off in the corner. So I'm looking like, well, he ain't come with us. But I know he was in the little group. So if I go out with somebody, like a group of people, I try to...
According to Big Homie, none of this was ever really a secret in the music industry. Behind the scenes, people allegedly knew exactly what Busta liked, and promoters in particular were said to be fully in the loop. It wasn't something whispered. In dark corners, it was an unspoken part of his rider. The same way some artists demand certain drinks, food, or security arrangements. If Busta Rhymes was on the bill, promoters allegedly knew to make sure his VIP section was prepared a very specific way. Big Homie claimed it became almost mechanical. The moment a booking was confirmed, promoters would start putting things in motion, not just sound checks or bottle service, but something much more discreet. According to him, they'd round up the entertainment they believed Busta expected. Over time, it stopped being treated like a rumor and started looking more like a routine. In his telling, this wasn't some occasional surprise hookup, it was the standard operating procedure whenever Busta touched down in a club. To understand why Big Homie's claims hit so hard, you have to remember how the nightlife industry works. Promoters don't just book artists to perform, they're also responsible for creating the atmosphere that makes a party feel exclusive. If a rapper is known for wanting endless bottles of champagne, that's what gets stocked. If a superstar insists on privacy, security doubles up. And if whispers suggest an artist favors a certain type of company, promoters will often go out of their way to deliver because keeping the talent happy keeps the bookings coming. So when Big Homie described how Busta's VIP was always stocked with sharp-looking men ready to keep the energy going, it painted a picture of a system that wasn't just enabling his preferences, but normalizing them. He said the men weren't chosen at random, they were carefully picked. The promoters knew what kind of vibe Busta wanted, and over the years they refined the process until it ran like clockwork. In Big Homie's words, it wasn't shocking anymore. It was expected. That detail is what made his account so striking. It suggested this wasn't about one or two isolated incidents. It was a pattern that insiders allegedly watched unfold over a long period of time. According to Big Homie, other artists, DJs, and industry figures who passed through those VIP rooms would notice the setups, but nobody said much. In an environment where access is everything, silence often becomes the price of admission. If you wanted to stay in the mix, you didn't ask questions. And this silence, Big Homie implied, is what allowed the whispers about Busta to survive for so long without ever becoming headlines. The people who saw the most had the least incentive to speak out. Club promoters needed his business. Partygoers wanted the clout of being seen in VIP. Security teams were paid to protect, not expose. And fellow artists knew that pointing fingers could just as easily backfire on them. In that kind of ecosystem, secrets don't stay buried by accident, they stay buried because everyone benefits from keeping them quiet. Big Homie argued that this cycle of complicity is part of what shaped Busta's reputation behind the curtain. While fans saw the loud animated rapper with a knack for flashy outfits and rapid-fire flows, the nightlife crowd allegedly saw another side, a man who used his influence to curate his surroundings exactly how he wanted them. The routine of his VIP, as described, wasn't just about excess. It was about control. About ensuring that every night unfolded on his terms. But the cracks in that silence started to widen once people like Big Homie began talking publicly. Suddenly, what had been treated as insider knowledge was spilling into the open, and if his accounts were true, it raises bigger questions. How many people around him knew, and how many chose to look the other way? Because in Big Homie's version of events, the story isn't just about Busta, it's about an industry where promoters, insiders, and entire systems are designed to protect stars at all costs, even when the truth is right in front of them.
Age or act, they don't want to be themselves.
It's crazy.
They'll get mad at you for buying bottles of champagne to give the girls. They'll get mad, oh, we don't want these bottle rats in our section. What are we here for? Why are y'all here then? What are y'all here for? Just because y'all got booked to be here, okay, but sometimes they not booked. They just in there. So, and what they looking for, it ain't gonna be what you thinking.
But Big Homie didn't stop at general claims, he got specific. He recounted one wild night at a club that involved actor and model Don Benjamin, along with one of Don's friends, who happened to be openly gay. According to Big Homie, the moment Busta laid eyes on the friend, it was instantly game on, with Busta making his intentions clear right from the jump.
You know, I'm about to go in this club. You know, we got a section. You know, you can come in with me if you want. And I'm like, word, for real? Like, that's what's up. Like, he was like, yeah. I was like, well, I gotta, you know, tell my people. I was like, I come in. You know what I'm saying? He was like, okay, just let me know, you know, tell them that you coming in there to meet with me and come on up. And I was like, bet. So, of course, I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes is one of my favorites.
Big Homie painted a vivid picture of that night. He said Busta moved quickly, pulling the man straight into his VIP section and refusing to let him go. According to him, Busta kept the guy glued to his side all night, showering him with attention and calling him cute in front of everyone. This, Big Homie stressed, wasn't some one-off moment, it was part of a pattern. He explained that club promoters had the whole thing down to a science. Whenever Busta showed up, they'd make sure his VIP section was filled with men, because once Busta locked in on someone, that was it. The man wasn't leaving until the night was over. But Big Homie didn't stop there. He claimed the industry has quietly known about Busta's real preferences for more than a decade. When asked why no one ever spoke out, he said it came down to access. For many people, being allowed in the club, on the video set, or backstage with Busta mattered more than exposing him. That silence, he suggested, is what kept the rumors alive but unchallenged. Then Big Homie pointed to something else he felt was telling Busta's reactions to women. He brought up instances where Busta was caught on camera lashing out at female fans, like the time a woman touched him and he threw a drink in her face. Why snap like that at women? He asked. From his perspective, it might connect to something deeper. He hinted that, like many men hiding parts of themselves, Busta could be carrying resentment toward women, a conflict that, in Big Homie's view, may have shown up in how he treated them over the years.
I'm like, what's up, man? He like, what you doing? And I was like, oh, me and my people, we about to go to this club around the corner. What's up, man? You know, and then I noticed throughout my peripheral vision, the side eye, this big bodyguard in black, just standing there, you know, looking around, you know.
If you thought this was just one ex-bodyguard chasing clout, think again. A growing list of men have stepped forward with their own eye-opening Busta stories. Back in 2020, social media personality Trip Alley hit YouTube with a wild claim. He said, Busta personally tried to pick him up in New York while he was simply on his way to a Halloween party. At first, Trip thought it was just a harmless invite to VIP, but he quickly realized the vibe was different. He recalled how Busta's section was filled mostly with men, something he admitted felt off. When Trip hesitated, his friend got into a heated argument with him about even considering sliding to Busta's party. That fight turned physical, leaving Trip stranded in the city after his friend stormed off. In hindsight, he admitted skipping Busta's VIP might have been a hidden blessing. By 2021, the whispers picked up again. This time, talk spread of Busta allegedly approaching men in clubs once more. Then, paparazzi shots surfaced. reportedly showing him leaving a gay pride event alongside a trans woman, adding even more fuel to the speculation. And just when things seemed to quiet down, Orlando Brown reignited the fire. In one of his now rants, Brown claimed he'd been intimate with multiple men in the industry, not only Diddy, but Busta as well, along with several other high-profile names. Most people usually laugh off Brown's outrageous interviews, but in some of his calmer, more recent appearances, he's sounded disturbingly convincing. Still, the speculation about Busta's private life is only one piece of the puzzle. What often gets overlooked is his history of volatility. Like Diddy, he has a long track record of putting hands on people over the smallest provocations. His legal troubles date back to 2006, when prosecutors attempted to hit him with a weapons charge after he was accused of keeping a machete hidden in his vehicle. A year later, he was arrested again, this time for allegedly assaulting his own driver during a money dispute. Busta eventually pleaded guilty to both cases, landing 3 years of probation. But the incidents didn't stop there. In 2009, the New York Post reported that Busta had to pay $75,000 to a fan who accused him of throwing water bottles and having his bodyguard punch him in the face, all because the fan tried to leave the show early. The man said he only came to see Fabulous perform, but when Fab didn't show, he decided to head out. That's when Busta allegedly snapped, yelling, "I'm not good enough for you," before launching more bottles into the crowd and ordering his security to rough him up. Taken together, the pattern paints a picture that goes far beyond rumors, one of a superstar with a volatile temper, hidden secrets, and a history of messy confrontations that just won't seem to go away. It's no secret Busta has been close with Diddy since the 90s. But now that history is taking on a different light, beyond their shared tempers, whispers suggest they also shared another connection, an alleged interest in much younger men, and Busta's own reactions to Diddy's downfall haven't exactly helped his case. When the accusations against Diddy first started gaining steam, Busta surprised fans by stepping in to caution people not to judge too quickly. On the surface, it seemed harmless, but many wondered why he'd feel the need to defend someone facing such serious allegations of abuse and misconduct. For critics, that choice looked less like loyalty and more like self-preservation. Fast forward to today, and the situation has exploded. Federal raids, lawsuits, and now an indictment have Diddy cornered. While Busta is suddenly acting like he barely knows the man, he's dodging questions, backpedaling, and trying to distance himself from a scene he once seemed inseparable from. But insiders are quick to remind he can't duck this forever. Adding to the tension, word on the street is that 50 Cent's upcoming Netflix documentary on Diddy is about to start dropping names, and Busta is allegedly on that list. If there's one thing we know about 50, it's that he never forgets. Unlike many, he steered clear of Diddy's private parties, but kept mental notes of who didn't. And now, with the documentary produced under G-Unit Films and directed by Emmy winner Alex Stapleton, industry insiders are calling it the rap game's biggest nightmare. Nobody's safe. According to sources, Busta already knows what's coming. Behind the scenes, he's been making frantic calls, trying to pull strings, even warning 50 to leave his name out of the project. But if you know 50, you know threats only make him push harder. Every attempt to silence him just guarantees a bigger spotlight. So here's the real question. If Busta has nothing to hide, why all the panic? Why not brush it off and keep moving? Could it be that his name is just getting tossed around in the chaos, or is there something deeper he doesn't want the world to see?